can't believe I get to say this, but we finally have OpTic Gaming back. It's been a long time since OpTic resembled the org that so many of us remember. But with Hex back in the driver's seat, there's finally some good news for Call of Duty. Having names like Hex, OpTic, and Nadeshot involved in the Call of Duty League is important. But maybe even better is the fact that the new COD title, Cold War, is getting some pretty good reviews from the pros. Add it all together, and it looks like 2021 could be the best year for COD in a long time. Alright guys, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and let us know in the comments below if there's any story that you personally are following. If you've got a great idea for a story and you want to reach out to us, you can contact us at our tips email at tips@thescore.com. Today, COD fans have a lot to celebrate, and I'm not just talking about the midnight release of Cold War, the series' newest entry. On Wednesday, Hex announced that not only had he purchased the OpTic name, but that the team previously known as the Huntsmen would be rebranded to the Chicago OpTic.
What's going on, guys? Big OpTic Hex here.
Yes, that means the Green Wall is officially back. The acquisition had been reported before in October.
You will get nothing out of me. I am a brick wall when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah, I have no information.
You're a green wall.
Yeah, but I have no information for you on this subject.
But the fact that the OpTic name would be attached to a CDL slot was new, as was the announcement. This is huge for a number of reasons, even if you don't care about Call of Duty. First, OpTic is one of the absolute GOATs in the COD space, but they're also a pioneer of gaming content generally. We're talking about a company that went from a tiny online sniping clan to the greatest dynasty in COD history.
The curse has been broken. The dynasty has been cemented. They are the greatest roster in Call of Duty history.
But more than just competitive results, OpTic absolutely changed the way that we think about esports, gaming content, and how they intersect. Look, OpTic and Hex were way ahead in the content game. It's not enough to just have an extremely competitive team of players who are great at what they do. You have to give fans a reason to actually care about those players. OpTic was doing that, making fans care about their players whether they were playing COD or Minecraft over a decade ago. And their fans, who became known as the Green Wall, were some of the most dedicated in esports. And if you are an OpTic fan, that's probably why the 2019 sale of OpTic to Immortals stung so much. Hex had already sold a controlling stake in OpTic to parent company Infinite Esports and Entertainment in 2017, but he stayed on. He was still part of the org's identity. He said that he started to warn in early 2019 that things at Infinite were getting a little unsustainable, and he actually submitted a bid to try to buy OpTic back himself, but was shut down. Then the bid from Immortals came in 2019 to buy all of Infinite, including OpTic. And when Hex and Immortals couldn't agree to terms for a continued role with the organization, it looked like it might actually be the end.
Everybody's freaking out. Yep. Everybody's freaking out about the future of OpTic, that it might be dissolved, that it won't exist anymore. Obviously, I think that'd be very dumb from a Immortal standpoint because OpTic is such a powerful brand.
I've seen crazier happen.
What?
I wouldn't put it past anybody to do just nonsensical stuff.
So once Immortals took it over, Hex joined NRG, becoming co-CEO alongside Andy Miller. But for OpTic fans, the time since that purchase hasn't exactly been worthy of celebrating. In fact, for many fans, it looked like the OpTic that they had come to know and love was basically gone. The OpTic name was removed from the League of Legends team, and though it did continue to exist as the name of the LA CDL spot, it had no real connection to Hex, which fans noticed.
Representing LA, give it up for OpTic Gaming.
In fact, I'm willing to bet that a lot of OpTic fans defected to NRG's team, the Chicago Huntsmen. The old OpTic might have been dead, but Scump sure wasn't. After the move that left Hex and OpTic separate, COD Esports was in this weird position. They had this brand new, sparkly franchise league, but many of the faces that had helped to make COD Esports what it is today weren't present in it. Sure, we had the Atlanta phase, but without Hex, OpTic, and Nadeshot, it just didn't feel right. This year, the Chicago slot in the CDL will be using the OpTic name. But even without it, Hex said on a recent podcast that the Chicago Huntsmen were actually very close to being profitable, minus the pricey franchising fees.
I mean, we were super close to being a break-even business. I mean, minus obviously the fee that goes into paying the franchise fees, but we were this close from being a break-even business on year freaking one with the people that we have. Next year, without a doubt, we're hitting those numbers. I promise that we're gonna get to be I'm gonna call it, and we're gonna be profitable. Whether it's $1 or $2 or whether it's 300, we're gonna do that because with this year we were this freaking close.
All with energy.
I know it's easy for your eyes to glaze over when we start talking about the money, but what I'm really saying here is Chicago was doing well without the OpTic name. Having it will only help them. For longtime fans of OpTic, having the name back in the game's biggest league is a kind of vindication. We've got OpTic Scump back, baby.
Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? It's your boy OpTic Scumpy!
The dark times are over, OpTic and Hex are reunited, and honestly, it's what COD deserves. If you kept the faith through everything and still consider yourself part of the Green Wall, you earned this dub. Enjoy it and all the ones yet to come. Okay, so OpTic is back. But there's still more huge news for COD because the LA slot that Hex bought before this unveil has been sold to an apparel company. Okay, it's just a joke, all right? It's just a joke. It was sold to esports org 100 Thieves, whose owner Nadeshot is one of esports' biggest success stories.
YouTube, how the fuck you doing? Nadeshot here.
What up, guys? Big OpTic Hex here.
It's a horrible depiction of my intro.
He sounds like a nerd when he does it.
Though 100 Thieves has struggled to find a dominant roster in any esport, you can't win if you don't play. Listen, I'll admit my bias and say that I'm a fan of Nade. He's been a pioneer for esports in a lot of ways. Like, I literally f***ing wrote and voiced a 20-minute video about him. But honestly, it kind of hurt to see someone who's given so much to Call of Duty stuck on the outside. When 100 Thieves announced that they wouldn't be part of the inaugural Call of Duty League, it was a big blow.
100 Thieves will not be a part of competitive Call of Duty next year. We will not be a part of the CDL. We will not have a team competing for our brand.
And that's because while, yeah, 100 Thieves has picked up teams all over esports, we all sort of knew that Call of Duty was really where Nade's heart was. The announcement video, by the way, was like a love letter, man. He didn't even try to hide it.
Yo, Matt.
You good? Yeah. I'm good.
So the LA Thieves have some sick branding and someone who really cares about Call of Duty in their corner. Not to mention Nade's substantial streaming audience who now have a new reason to tune into CDL. And this move means that Nade and Hex, two of the biggest cheerleaders for Call of Duty, will now be involved in the league. And in my opinion, that's huge for the future of the CDL. Listen, I love the branding of teams like the Toronto Ultra or the London Royal Ravens. But having teams like OpTic and 100 Thieves involved is critical to bring more eyes to the league. It gives credibility to the league and might help bring in some people who might have been put off by the artificial sounding names. It's good for the league as a whole. Okay, I alluded to this at the beginning of the video, but there's one more thing that can make this the best year of Call of Duty ever: the game itself.
The game played great, especially for an alpha. You know, it's in a good spot. So I'm very excited for next year's season and the game in general.
Okay, so some people are a little bit upset about the addition of skill-based matchmaking. It's an issue that the next Call of Duty will have to consider carefully. And honestly, I'm not opposed to just having separate casual and ranked modes. You know, the thing that most competitive games have had forever. But outside of that, most of the pros seem genuinely excited by it. Yeah, there's obviously the hype that comes with the release of any new game. But changes to Modern Warfare's movement, along with some generally solid gunplay and maps, means that this is a good foundation for the Call of Duty League to build on. It's really looking like 2021 could be the biggest year of Call of Duty yet, both in and outside the league. If you're a fan of the franchise, this is great news. And if you're not, well, get completely And if you're not, then, well, maybe you just don't know it yet.
Let's do it again. So hype. So hype.
I can't believe I get to say this, but don't use this in the end board, Colten, please. Holy shit. Dude, promise me. Unmute your mic right now. Unmute your mic, Colten, and promise that you won't do this to me.
I'm sorry, Josh. Sometimes these things are out of my hands.
Oh no! I felt like I was fucking channeling Devin. Like I felt like the mauled enter my veins. I don't want to say feel Devin inside of me. Because that, I definitely don't want to say that. I mean, I just said it on the recording, so I'm probably Wow.